What's up, guys? Just giving you a Lexus update here. So it's been a while. I haven't really done any kind of a vlog or anything. Figured I'd start with that. So first off, I dailied this car from April until September. Throughout that time I did a lot of mods, just tying up loose ends, really finding shortcomings and sorting them out. I upgraded coils. It was blowing spark out real bad even though my plugs were gapped at 20. So I was able to do some 1CZ coils, and basically I was all about preparing for the dyno. I had a dyno day scheduled September 9th, and there was a lot of prep up until that. I went from T3 to T4 on my turbo, and that I heard a lot of mixed reviews, so that was a real just big learning experience for me. I wanted to get honest proof, because what I've realized in the car scene, you can have a lot of that and sometimes there's no data to back it up. A lot of time it's hearsay, so I don't like that. I like to see hard data and cut the ego and rumors out. So I did something a little unorthodox and cut the T3 flange off, cut a T4 flange off, and welded fucking cast, which isn't always the best, but it worked. I preheated, of course. I beveled both edges. I welded both sides. So I gave it all opportunities that it could have to last, and it actually did. And that gave me the hard data of T3 versus T4, because a lot of time when you go to a T4, you're going to get a bigger housing. So this was an 18 cm housing, which was a little large to begin with, but going from T3, you have your bottleneck, and then obviously it goes out for that 18 cm, so it was doing me no favors. So I was able to get T4. It didn't lose any spool whatsoever. It was pretty much exactly the same as far as spool characteristics, but it gained a little bit of top end. It felt more lively, so that was good. But tying up all my loose ends to where I can get to the dyno, hit the dyno, and first thing I was able to do is see what power I was running around with on throughout that whole summer. It was 440 torque and 400 horse. So first thing I realized was, even though my wideband showed 11.0 right on target, it was pegging the dyno rich, and his only showed 10.0, so it was obviously below that. So I pulled a good amount of fuel. Good news for me, because I couldn't understand why my fuel system was maxed the whole fucking time. So able to pull fuel. That gave me 40 horsepower right there, just hitting a reasonable air fuel target. And then I knew I was safe on timing. I was on cast pistons and didn't know about all my knock settings, so went to add timing, added 2 degrees, picked up 20 horse, added 2 degrees, picked up 20 horse, added 2 degrees, picked up 20 horse. So without adding a single pound of boost, I gained 110 horsepower and 35 foot-pounds. That was at 18 psi. So it came time to start adding boost. Now, dyno days are hectic. I had in my head I was going to upgrade my water meth nozzle to a bigger nozzle to be suited for 500 horse if I went past 500 horsepower, because I had a 10 gallon per hour nozzle in the car. I was going to go to a 15 that I had in my glove box, but I was also tuning another car that day, so there was a lot to worry about, a lot of things going on, so I forgot. So I added 2 pounds. I picked up 35 horse, added 2 pounds, only picked up 10 horse. On that pull, it gave some smoke. My turbo was kind of on its way out, as I kind of knew, but it developed a misfire after that pull, returning it back to idle. But it did make it its most power. It only picked up 10 horse though, so there was obviously an issue there. So thought it was injector hemorrhaging, did some troubleshooting. It passed compression test for a while. I even took it out and did a couple pulls just because nothing appeared to be that wrong. I could do the cylinder drop test, it was good, compression was good. The only thing that stuck out to me was plug number 1 was wet. So after a couple pulls, it started to show itself a little more. And finally compression showed cylinder 1 was down, so pulled it out. I ended up cracking the 3rd ringland. Which was pretty much just due to knock and having cheap crappy pistons. They were 160 bucks. They were eBay, and that was with rings. They were just aftermarket cast pistons. So I already had some OE pistons, and I thought I was doing a good job by getting new pistons rather than using some old OE ones. But so yeah, I ended up already having a spare set of rings. So a couple shortcomings I wanted to get done. That was a GT oil pump. I thought about doing cams, but it didn't really suit my needs right now because I'm still on the auto trans. I don't expect it to last at my horsepower goal of 600. As you can see, I made 555, and that was with a hurt engine. My car was well on its way to make my goal of 600. So I kind of got that horsepower bug, and once I saw my goal in sight, I was pushing it. So it happens. But so this time around, I also did a flex sensor. I'll have flex fuel for when I'm turning up boost and making the higher numbers. I widened ring gaps. I also got tired of a freaking welded diff, so I did a BRZ diff that I managed to get. And then, so just did a quick rebuild. Start to finish, it was 2 weeks from driving it in hurt to driving it out altogether. Oh, I also so I found a 16 cm housing turbo. I was on an 18 before, it was a little bit laggy. So I found a 16 cm. It was advertised on eBay as an eBay whole set. Now I had to buy the entire turbo just for that, and it was kind of a gamble because they don't make an 18 cm housing stock at T4. They make a 19 or 17. But took my chances, bought it, and it's a 16. It's definitely smaller. So I'm running that now. I'm not able to get the full benefits of it because of my auto trans wanting to downshift, and as you can see on the dyno, that's why I wasn't able to stab it until about $4 grand. This transmission's starting to piss me off because it is downshift happy, and now that I'm getting less and less lag and wanting to push my power band wider, I'm not able to see those benefits because the auto. So its days are numbered either way. If it breaks, it goes. If I have a manual, then it goes too. Plans are CD009 swap. So right now I went from 390s to 410 gears. I don't really like that, but it is what it is. So now another reason why I wanted to do this video was to talk about cost.